I realized, oh, yes, we are working for a shaman.
When it comes to things like psilocybin and other natural plant medicines,
Those drugs have been villainized for a long time.
how many people were dying, but they were still making so much money. We're Josiah and Lauda, and we exchanged traditional comforts for a life filled with adventure, peace, and freedom when we moved into our van Paz in June of 2021.
Join us as we explore alternative ways of living outside the system.
So we're here in the rainforest, which has been amazing getting to do this volunteer project, and has the added benefit that we're getting to work with a shaman. The guy that we're doing this with, Bola, who's been working with plant medicine for decades, has done thousands of plant medicine ceremonies, and we get to
help him.
this next weekend.
Next weekend, we're very excited about it, and probably for a lot of people, this word shaman scared them. The other day, he was talking about the medicine, and I realized, oh, yes, we are working for a shaman. And it's kind of funny because for me it's just another human, like someone that have studied the plants, the medicine, in order to help other people.
It's like another form of doctor. Like if someone were to say they're a doctor, everyone automatically gives that person like a certain amount of respect. People think that as a doctor you're going to help people, and in my mind, a shaman, especially the shamans we've been in contact with, are doing the exact same thing, just with a different form of medicine, a natural form of medicine.
There are a lot of people that when you talk about a shaman, they think that it's a witch, and someone that can do like dark kind of
magic.
If we think about our past, our ancestors believe in those people.
Native communities throughout history used and respected shamans.
All of them have a shaman.
But in the communities, at least that we grew up in, it was something that we didn't experience, right? Though you had a little bit more experience with alternative medicine from a young age.
Yeah, well, when I was very young, I was introduced to alternative medicine or natural medicine because I was sick. I had an illness in my blood. It's called thrombocytopenia esencial. But it basically means that my levels of blood platelets are higher than normal. So yeah, I got this illness and my family was scared. So we visited a lot of doctors, and they never gave us like hope.
They said it was incurable, right?
Yeah,
they said that you would live your whole life with this disease.
That's what they told me. But my family looked for other options because they didn't accept that diagnosis. So they looked for an alternative natural medicine, and years passed and I don't even know how.
You're still taking medicine from the doctor, right?
Yes, I was taking the medicine that the doctor, a traditional doctor, recommend, and it didn't work.
The doctor also said that medicine could give you cancer someday.
This medicine had side effects, so we stopped the medicine. We tried alternative medicine, and the medicine never worked for me. Years after that, I accepted like I'm gonna live with this illness my whole life, and one day I was just cured. This is our home for the next 2 weeks, and I want to show you a small tour of the house.
It's becoming more and more common to look for alternative solutions to illnesses or to just living a healthy life. I think that there are more people that are putting less faith in the traditional medical institution, that they're recognizing that it is a business, and especially with big pharma, that it's not designed to make us healthier. Sometimes it's just designed to get us to take more medicines and more medicines.
I will risk to say that all of the medicine has contraindications, has these collateral effects, the side effects. And at the end of the day, you can have an illness and take a medicine to get better, to recover, and that medicine can provoke another problem in your health. We have the kitchen right here. Josa is cooking. What are you cooking?
So we're gonna make patacones with the plátanos that are here on the property. We also have some yuca boiling that we're gonna fry up. When I was practicing law, I represented all sorts of different clients, and one of the tougher clients that I represented was a big pharmaceutical company. And not to say any like private information, but just looking at the public information that's out there within the lawsuits. I mean, anyone that's interested in researching can see how much the pharmaceutical companies knew, especially like with the opioid epidemic, what their drugs were doing to people and how they were being used improperly and how many people were dying. But they were still making so much money that it wasn't in their interest to stop that misuse that was killing people. This is the main floor. When you walk in, we have the kitchen area where we eat. We have the common area over here with lots of hammocks, beautiful view right outside into nature. There's room for 16 people to sleep here. So multiple different rooms. We're staying in one of the rooms over here on the right. We have some of our clothes drying, our work clothes. In here we have the net over the bed because there are quite a few insects in the evening, but definitely worth the amazing environment that we get to stay in. I've never been big into taking medications. When I donated my kidney, I was very specific that I didn't want to take any pain medications after my kidney transplant because I understood the risks associated with taking a lot of pharmaceuticals. So this is like a traditional stove that people would use, and here it's used as like to do little bonfires. This is also the area where the plant medicine is administered. It's refreshing to see how open-minded people have become when it comes to things like psilocybin and other natural plant medicines. And I get it, like historically, some of these medicines have become politicized where governments declare a war on drugs and they call something a drug because it's used recreationally within certain communities. And I think, like anything, something can be a drug, but it can also be medicine depending on how it's used.
Everything can be used for good or for bad. You decide. But psychedelics were presented to me like this addiction drug that can ruin my life. But there is another perspective, and luckily now they're studying mushrooms because they realize there are a lot of benefits from mushrooms, and they're being researched or studied scientifically. And it's good because those drugs have been villainized for a long time, but realizing that, for example, now the psilocybin or marijuana, it can also help people with a lot of disease.
Another beautiful view. There's 60 acres here, and then it's right next to a natural reserve. I think that some people need a study and they need someone to sign off on anything before it's considered medicine. And for us, at least for me, I just look to history and look at the communities that have been using these plant medicines for thousands of years, without exaggerating, and the benefits that they've had. And that's where my trust comes from, and then also my own experience.
An amazing thing about this volunteer project, the location, is that we have a reserve very close to the property, so we have a lot of trails, hiking trails.
And we finish early enough in the day that we can still take advantage of the light that we have and do some hiking, so we're gonna get going, and we'll see how it goes.
We have company. I believe in science, but I also believe that there are some things, some specific things in life that cannot be explained by science. So my perspective, because the illness I had to deal with in the past was like medicine, like science cannot explain or cannot find a cure for my illness. So I had to accept that it was an illness that I have to deal with my whole life, or the survival instinct inside us, or at least inside me, make me like trust in different other options or alternative to find a cure. And I think when the hope is dead, when you don't have more hope, what do I have to lose?
I feel like the perfect example is looking at my brother. He was going to doctors for a decade because of problems he had with his stomach, and they didn't know what was wrong. They did every single test under the sun, right? They built every single possible thing to check to see what was wrong with him, and they couldn't give him an answer. And then one night, with alternative medicine, with plant medicine, he was able to be very clear on what was wrong with his body and start doing the work to recover. Like, that's, I'm not saying that it's always like that, but I think that's a really good example of understanding that our traditional medical system is designed to deal with symptoms. It's not actually designed to figure out what's wrong with people and to make them healthier. We're both really excited for this next weekend, getting to work with a shaman that is so experienced, and I'm sure we're gonna have a very unique experience that we're excited to share with you all.
So don't miss our next episode, because it will be very interesting. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like our channel.